Have you ever felt small? Maybe you're the youngest in your family. Maybe others think you can't do big things because you're just a kid. But what if I told you that God can use you to do something amazing? This is the story of a young boy named David. He was not a king. He was not a soldier. He was just a shepherd boy. But God had a special plan for him, a plan to make him a king, a plan to make him a hero, a plan to defeat a giant. Are you ready to hear the whole story? Let's go. A long time ago, there was a king in Israel named Saul. At first, Saul listened to God, but later he became proud and disobedient. He stopped doing what God wanted. God was not happy with Saul. So God told his prophet Samuel, "I have chosen a new king. Go to a man named Jesse in Bethlehem. One of his sons will be the next king." Samuel was surprised. But God, if King Saul hears this, he might get angry. But God told Samuel what to do. Take a cow for a sacrifice. Say you came to worship God, then invite Jesse and his sons to the sacrifice. So Samuel obeyed. He went to Bethlehem. When Jesse and his sons arrived, Samuel saw Jesse's oldest son, Eliab. Eliab was tall and strong. Samuel thought, "This must be the one God has chosen." But God said, "No, Samuel. Do not look at how tall or handsome he is. I do not see as people see. People look at the outside, but I look in the heart." Then Jesse called his next son, and then the next. One by one, 7 of Jesse's sons stood before Samuel. But each time God said, "Not this one." Samuel was puzzled. "Are these all your sons?" he asked Jesse. Jesse replied, "There is still the youngest. He is out in the field taking care of the sheep." Samuel said, "Send for him. We will not sit down until he comes." So they sent for the youngest son. His name was David. When David came, he was just a boy. He was not big or strong like his brothers, but his heart loved God. And when Samuel saw him, God said, "This is the one. Anoint him." Samuel took the special oil and poured it on David's head. This was a sign that David was chosen by God to be the next king of Israel. At that moment, God's Spirit came upon David with power, but David did not become king right away. He went back to taking care of his sheep. He waited for God's perfect time. Meanwhile, King Saul had a problem. God's Spirit had left Saul, and an evil spirit began to trouble him. He felt sad, angry, and afraid. His servants said, "Let's find someone who can play the harp. Good music will make you feel better." One servant said, "I know a young man. His name is David, the son of Jesse. He plays the harp very well. He is brave and speaks wisely. The Lord is with him." So Saul sent for David. David played his harp, and the music made Saul feel calm again. Saul liked David so much that he made him his armor bearer. But David still went home sometimes to take care of his father's sheep. One day Israel had a big problem. The Philistines, their enemies, had come to fight them. The two armies stood on 2 hills with a valley in between. But the Philistines had a secret weapon, a giant named Goliath. Goliath was huge, over 9 feet tall. He wore heavy armor and carried a giant spear. Every morning and evening, Goliath shouted, "I dare you. Choose one man to fight me. If he wins, we will be your servants. But if I win, you will serve us." The Israelites were terrified. No one dared to fight Goliath. Back in Bethlehem, Jesse sent David to take food to his older brothers, who were soldiers in Saul's army. When David arrived, he heard Goliath's loud challenge. David was surprised. "Why is no one fighting this giant? Why are you all so afraid? God is with us." David's oldest brother, Eliab, got angry. "Why are you here, David? You just want to watch the battle. Go back to your sheep." But David said, "Is there not a cause? Should we let this Philistine mock the armies of the living God? Word of David's courage reached King Saul. David was brought to King Saul. David said, "Don't be afraid, King Saul. I will go and fight Goliath." Saul was shocked. "You're just a boy. Goliath has been a warrior since he was young." But David said, "When I was watching my father's sheep, a lion came to take a lamb. I chased it, struck it, and saved the lamb. One time a bear came too. God helped me defeat them. God will help me defeat Goliath too." Saul said, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." Saul tried to give David his armor, but it was too big and heavy. David said, "I can't wear these. I'm not used to them." So David took his staff, chose 5 smooth stones from the brook, put them in his shepherd's bag, and carried his sling. David walked toward Goliath. When Goliath saw David, he laughed loudly. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? Come here, boy. I will feed you to the birds and wild animals." But David said bravely, "You come against me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin. But I come against you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. Today God will give you into my hands. Everyone will know that the Lord saves, not with sword or spear. The battle belongs to God." Goliath moved closer to attack. David ran quickly toward him. He reached into his bag, took out a stone, and slung it. The stone flew through the air and hit Goliath right on the forehead. The giant fell to the ground. Boom! David ran up, took Goliath's own sword, and cut off his head. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they ran away in fear. Israel won the battle. David became a hero that day, not because he was the biggest, not because he was the strongest, but because he trusted God. God chose David, a humble shepherd boy, to show that with faith, even a child can defeat a giant. David's story teaches us, don't be afraid to stand up for God. God sees your heart, not your size. With God, you can do great things no matter how small you are. This was just the beginning of David's amazing journey. One day, he would become the greatest king of Israel. But it all started with a heart that loved God and trusted Him. Remember, you too can be like David. No giant is too big when God is with you.